Hello, folks. Welcome back to Ferox Frank Reviews. No doubt many of you have actually enjoyed my review on The Princess Bride, seeing it's actually a classic film and everybody loves it. That's right, it's a beloved Rob Reiner film. Now, today's movie is a not even a movie; it's actually a short. It's basically like a little TV film. Now, here's the thing: I want you to go way back. If you were born in the '80s and grew up in the '90s, like I did, or if you guys grew up within within like the 80s or so, then I want you guys to think way back, way back. Okay, because this I'm going to delve deep into your deep subconscious. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware of the passing of many celebrities this year. So one of which was Shelley Duvall, and the other one was no less than the voice of Darth Vader himself, James Earl Jones. Yeah. So what did these two have in common? They were they were actually in a film. They were actually in a TV film with Mr. Spock himself. Yeah, many of you probably didn't even realize that. But let me just introduce you to something called fairytale theater. Now these are VHS tapes from like back in the '80s. Fairytale theater was actually a little was a TV theater production that Shelley Duvall was actually the executive producer on. In fact, she was actually the host of this program. And now, I'm sure many of you actually went to the video section of the stores, or actually go to local libraries and stuff from your hometowns, and you may have actually seen these things on the shelves at one point or another. I always found these VHSs kind of fascinating. Huh. Now, before we get into any further detail, today's movie is Aladdin and his Wonderful Lamp, starring James Earl Jones and Leonard Nimoy, hosted by Shelley Duvall, directed by Tim Burton. No, I'm not joking here. Tim Burton directed this. What the? Sorry, sorry. Had to get the good thing I had the credits on cue there. Oh boy. So yeah, apparently Tim Burton directed this film. Shit, who directed this one? The Three Little Pigs, and Billy Crystal plays the pig who made the brick house, and Jeff Goldblum plays the big bad wolf. Wow. Okay, that's something. Who directed this one? Howard Storm. Huh. Oh shit! I just realized something. The executive one of the producers of these things was Frederick X. Fox. Could it be the same Fred Fox that AVGN actually had a rivalry with? Could it be? Because the last name is spelled Fuchs, and Frederick is long, but the short version is Fred Fox. Maybe it's the same guy. Also, I hate to be a dick here, but I don't think you should actually have somebody by the name of with the last name called Fox that's involved in children's fairy tales. I mean, seriously, that's actually a bad sign. What if somebody was trying to actually say the guy's name? All right, it's like Frederick S. Fox. It's like, what did you say? That's his name. Look, it says Frederick S. Fox. Well, I'm going to stop you up there. What the? Huh? Oh, it does say Fox, but with an H instead of a K. What? You can spell the name with like a don't say the name. I swear to God. So yeah. By the way, before I continue with this, you want to know what I find is very interesting about these VHS tapes? Now, unfortunately, I don't have a VHS player. I actually had to watch these things on YouTube. But today's film is going to be Aladdin and His Wonderful Lamp. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, it opens up like a fairy tale book. Look at that. The cover can open up like this. Not many VHSs do this anymore. Oh, don't you just love the good old VHS days? Oh, and look at that. It actually has everything here. So, including the casting with Princess Sabrina. Well, I guess it's not Princess Jasmine here. Aladdin, James Earl Jones as two genies, Leonard Nimoy as the evil magician, the Sultan, the Grand Vizier. Huh, this is quite fascinating. Yeah, very fascinating indeed, because this came out in 1986. So if you're thinking about when it comes to Aladdin, many of you are going to be already thinking about the Disney film. Well, here's a fun fact. This was actually based on the fairy tale that came out in the 70s. That's based on the original Arabian Nights tale. Yeah, the original Arabian Nights tale, which of course led to the creation of the original story that was caused by Aladdin. And ironically, this movie, this little TV film, is more in common with the original Aladdin source material, which is kind of crazy, even though it's more directed towards kids. And unlike this one and some of the other films, I've actually wanted to watch it real quick. Yeah, seriously, it took me like I spent like maybe half a day looking at some of these movies. Like they're like literally under an hour each. This is by far one of the darkest ones because it's directed by Tim Burton. Yeah, go figure, right? And how many films are on this list? Well, if you just open up the little panel right here, it gives you a brief description there. But here's a list of all the films that they've actually done on Fairy Tale Theater. We got Aladdin and His Wonderful Lamp, Beauty and the Beast, The Boy Who Left Home to Find Out About the Shivers, Cinderella, The Dancing Princess, The Emperor's New Clothes, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Hansel and Gretel, Jack and the Beanstalk, The Little Mermaid, The Little Red Riding Hood, The Nightingale, The Pied Piper, Pinocchio, the Princess and the Pea, The Princess Who Never Laughed, Puss in Boots, Rapunzel, Rumpelstiltskin, Rip Van Winkle, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, the Snow Queen, the Tale of the Frog Prince, the Three Little Pigs, and Thumbelina. Wow, really? That's a lot of stories right there they did. Oh, you're not gonna believe who actually starred in all these things too. Guess who was playing? Guess who played Pinocchio in Pinocchio? Pee Wee Herman himself. Yeah, Paul Rubens plays Pinocchio in this film series. Uh, let's see. I only skimmed through half of them. I actually skimmed through some of the films, but oh, here's a bit of a fun fact. Guess who played the Frog Prince? There was a guy in a suit who did the whole thing. But if you listen closely to the voice, and once the prince is fully revealed, you get to find out who the actor was. It's the guy who plays the genie in the Aladdin Disney's Aladdin. Yeah, it's Robin Williams. God, what the hell? There's a lot of stuff here. I actually remember watching all this stuff years ago. Hell, Susan Sarandon actually plays Belle in Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Wow, this is like really something. Really something. Oh, and guess who plays the mirror in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Vincent Price. Wow. Just wow. But before I go on with the story, I'm wasting a little bit more time here, but I want you to keep this in mind. Why am I talking about these films? These films were actually part of my childhood when I was growing up, say from the late 80s to the early 90s until I saw all the better stuff. These little fairy tale films were sort of a treasure to me when I was a kid growing up. These were literally part of my childhood. So yeah, and I know what you're thinking. If I don't have a VHS player that works, how the hell do I have these VHS tapes? I took it from my parents' house. Yeah, when I was at my parents' house last week, I actually found these things in storage. I just grabbed them and so I had to look at them, watch the videos on YouTube, and here we are now. Yep. I've ran it on for enough times. So let's just go on with Aladdin and His Wonderful Lamp. The movie basically begins with Shelley Duvall herself actually coming in to host the movie, and then we hear a narrator who's also played by James Earl Jones, and okay, this is starting. Okay, I'm starting to think that maybe Disney took a lot of inspiration from this one with this film. Aside from the Thief and the Cobbler, that'll make much sense later on. I'll explain at the end of the video. Hmm. Where the narrator tells us a lot of things about a good old fashioned Aladdin being a little trickster, but also being a little being nothing more but a thief with a heart of gold. Yes, he is a street rat, and of course his he meets Leonard Nimoy, who is actually credited as the evil magician or the evil Moroccan magician. I said Moroccan from Morocco, not Moronica. All right, those of you who are Three Stooges fans, yes, if they were still around, they could probably make a bunch of jokes on the character. Unfortunately, the character doesn't even have a name. All right, so from this point on, I'm just gonna call the evil magician Jafar. Why? Guys, come on, seriously. Why wouldn't I? I mean, you expect me to say evil magician the whole fucking time? The evil magician convinces Aladdin and his mother, who's still alive in this version, that yes, that he is actually Aladdin's father's brother. Yes, so he is an uncle. And he tells him about this tells him about this place where he gets much riches. So he takes Aladdin out to the desert and finds the secret little tunnel. The secret tunnel to obviously this is what okay, obviously I'm starting to think that maybe Tim Burton was more than just the director. I think he also worked on some of the sets as well because the set designs are clearly look a little bit early Tim Burton-esque. Yeah. And seriously, some of the themes in this one are actually much darker than the other ones are. And considering the fact that Tim Burton was actually the director of this movie, it's not that surprising. Yeah. And also knowing that years later he would actually go on to direct Sleepy Hollow, which is actually an homage to Hammer horror films, and actually is an homage to Hammer horror films. Yeah, but extremely gory. So keep that in mind. He directed the kids' film. That being said, Aladdin does eventually find the lamp, but he finds some trees inside this chamber. He picks off these pieces of fruit from the tree that turn into valuable jewels. So he takes them, and thus he grabs the lamp. The whole place starts going crazy. And of course he makes it back to the entrance where he asks Jafar to help him. And Jafar says, "Give me the lamp, give me the lamp." Of course, Aladdin refuses. Jafar just up and snaps and says, "Then I will collect it from your dead corpse, you fool!" Slams the door on him. Now, before he actually sends Aladdin down there, he gives Aladdin a ring for good luck or something. And so Aladdin, and here's something that's kind of funny. I know this is sort of dark humor, and this is actually in a kid's film, but Aladdin's actually sitting like this. And across from him is a skeleton literally sitting in the exact same position like this. Wow, epic foreshadowing there. And this is a kid's film. Thing. You know, as an adult watching this, even though this was intended for kids, I couldn't help but laugh. I know it's supposed to be a dark and serious scene, but I just couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry. But anyway, Aladdin unintentionally rubs the ring, and we see James Earl Jones pop up as Abdul, the genie of the ring. Yeah, there's two genies in this version, which is actually more accurate compared to the Disney version. Now I know what you're thinking, Ferox Frank. The Disney version actually had two genies as well. Yeah, because Jafar turned himself into a genie. Yes, yes. But no. Here's the thing. In the original storyline, there was actually two genies, but the first one, the genie that's in the lamp is the second genie, but a lot of people tend to forget about the first one because he's the genie of a ring. And so we see Abdul, the genie of the ring, I can grant you any wish that you desire at this moment, because you are in such pain emotionally. Well, how about I wish to get out of this cave? As you wish, dear lord. Teleports him out. Well, I'm back in the desert. Thanks. Well, I got the lamp. I'm going home. So Aladdin just goes home and he tells his mom everything that the guy was a I should also mention that Abdul tells Aladdin that Jafar wasn't really his uncle, so which is pretty yes. So what happens next? He takes the lamp home to his mother. He tells his mother the whole truth, and he decides, well, we should probably get some food, but we're broke, of course. So Aladdin's like, you know what? Maybe I can just sell this thing. It's really dirty. But he rubs it, and of course, the genie pops out. And here's the thing: Abdul is that the genie of the ring is a bit more subdued. He's more calm and collected. Unfortunately, the genie of the lamp is completely the polar opposite. He's flamboyant. I wouldn't say flamboyant, but no, he's just energetic as fuck. And yes, he's played by James Earl Jones too. Gotta give James Earl Jones a lot of credit for this one because he's having way too much fun with the role because he acts like he's like a villain, like he's a villainous character. And in some, and to be fair, in some of the Arabian Night tales, the genies were actually considered evil. So I mean, hell, did you ever see the movie Wishmaster? They basically say that genies are actually like demons. So, well, to be fair, there's actually two types of genies. There's actually genies within rings, genies within the lamps. So there are genies that are actually hidden in those things. And then there are free genies that are called jinns, spelled with two N's, and start with a D. Yeah, demons. So, of course, the genie actually tells him he is there to grant him any wish he wants. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, so Aladdin's going to waste his three wishes. Newsflash! In this version, which is more accurate to the book, Aladdin has unlimited wishes. No, I'm actually not kidding. In the original version, Aladdin actually has so many wishes. So, although in the original Arabian Nights tale, the main protagonist went a little bit nuts with the wishing until he actually wished for something that was offensive to the genie, and then the genie just stops granting him wishes altogether. It just leaves. Yeah, go figure, right? So yeah, there's actually the Aladdin and His Wonderful Lamp is a more child-friendly version, but actually takes a little bit more liberties. But this movie does take some liberties from the original source material and makes the genie just a little bit darker in some aspect because of the fact he's being played by James Earl Jones. So his first wish is that of food for his mother, and of course, he goes to the market one day and he finds out the princess is coming through. And of course, it's forbidden for anybody to see the princess. So he hides. The princess comes walking around. He peeks his head out of a big jar and he sees her and he immediately falls in love with her. Wow, it's love at first sight. It's a kid's film, people. Come on. And so thus Aladdin tells his mother he's in love with the princess. And so he gives his mother the jewels he got from the cave, and gives them and tells her to give them to the Sultan as a tribute. She does just that, and of course we see the Sultan and the Grand Vizier. And the Sultan actually has a thing for Tinker toys. Like little devices or so. I call them Tinker toys because they're actually devices that will later become toys in the further future. But still, they're fascinating to him. There's one thing that I thought that was a little weird. It's actually has a box that actually has voices coming out of it, but you think it's like what? Like a little music box? Opens it up, there's like three mouths in it. And the vizier goes like, huh, not that impressed. I'm That's what he says. I'm going, what the fuck? Okay, what? The power of Christ compel you. The power of Christ. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This is a Middle Eastern culture. So, the power of Allah. Wait. Does it have like okay? Do you have like a religious symbol here? Okay, give me that. The power of Allah compels you. The power of Allah compels you. Jesus. Ay, I know what you're thinking. Isn't Allah basically evil? Okay, first off, here's a fun. Okay, for some of you who don't even realize that Allah, Jehovah, the God that's actually the Father of Jesus Christ Himself, the one we all worship, and of course Abraham, and of course the Abrahamic God Abraham from the Jewish religion, they're the same God. Yeah, triangle religion. Okay, so we all worship the same God in just different ways. Talk about mind fuck. The story does progress on a little bit with Aladdin's mother giving the Sultan the tribute, and of course, Aladdin later on says he'll think about it. Unfortunately, the next day, Aladdin finds out that the Sultan is going to wed his daughter to the Grand Vizier, and of course, Aladdin's annoyed with this. So later on that night, he asks the genie for help. All right, and the genie has some wild suggestions here, but Aladdin actually tries to calm him down a little bit. So anyway, he tells the genie to actually bring the princess over to him while he takes care of the Grand Vizier. And yeah, here's the thing. But here's the thing: the genie would like to kill the Grand Vizier, so the genie actually has the power to kill people in this version, even though the Disney one didn't. Yeah. So, in any way, he says no. Just take him someplace far away for the time being, and can I do whatever I want with him? Sure, go crazy. Okay. Zoom brings the princess, And Aladdin and the princess actually talk a lot, and they actually have a lot in common. Surprisingly, they spend the entire night actually getting along and actually starting to like each other. So basically, they fall in love. And no, it's a kids' film, so don't get any ideas, you sickos. But what does the genie do with the Grand Vizier? He shows up to his room and he starts laughing like, he takes him away and he makes him have nightmares. Yeah, he takes him to another dimension and makes it into a nightmare world with him just laughing like a maniac. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's basically the nightmare. You know what? I would say this is pretty stupid and all, but then again, it's James Earl Jones as a blue genie, and he's sadistic as hell. Fuck you, Freddy Krueger. This guy's gonna be in my nightmares for the next couple of weeks. So the following day, the princess and the vizier basically tell the sultan what they went through that night, and then ironically, I just like the way how the sultan just goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, what's going on? The same guy? No, oh, no. Okay, that's good enough." All right, so he calls the wedding off. So basically, he calls off the wedding, and he actually and Aladdin is actually given a challenge. Actually, goes meets the Sultan the following day and asks him if he can ask his daughter's hand in marriage. Of course, the vizier says there's no way that can actually happen unless he can do something extraordinary. And the Sultan gives him a challenge to give him a grand device because he loves Tinker Toys. And so it's like, I'll be right back. Goes away, calls the genie, and of course, well, give us some gold. No, grand food. No. Here's the thing: the guy likes devices. He likes little Tinker Toys, like devices. Go on, listening. And so, what does the genie create? A television set. Yeah, okay, look, I don't know what the device is really called, but you clearly look at it, it's a box there's little people inside of it that actually do little puppet shows, but it's clearly meant to be a TV. So it's an ancient Arabian a television set made from magic. What the hell, bro? So yeah, the Sultan is pleased that he got Sabrina out to actually come and to meet Aladdin, the man she will marry. She's a little bit She rejects the idea until she sees it's the same Aladdin she met the other night. So it's like, oh, okay, so I'm definitely marrying him. Yay! So, but the thing is, the Sultan says if they're to be married, he wants him to create a nice little palace for him. And so Aladdin actually gets the genie once again back at his house, of course, because he doesn't want anybody to know about the genie. So the genie actually is. Aladdin and the genie banter back and forth about what type of project they should do, and he tells them that he wants it done by tomorrow, which of course is Monday. So this is all happening on a Sunday night, and of course the genie goes, "Monday? I shall skew your eyes for saying that. Why? It's Monday, you fool! Monday is a day of rest for all genies." Time out. Okay, first off, one, none of us actually knew much about genies to begin with. Number one. Number two, you telling us that you should have said something about that earlier. I mean, what if we were in a bit of in a tight jam and it was on a Monday amongst all things, and you didn't tell us about the whole Monday thing? Nah. Okay, okay, you won. Okay, yeah, you won. You win on that account. So maybe it's a good thing I told you about that now. Look, how about this? How about tomorrow you just relax, but we go through the entire plans exactly, and then Tuesday you construct everything. Okay. So Tuesday, the palace is built. It's literally built, and yeah, Aladdin and Sabrina are now married, and now they are husband and wife. And of course, the genie makes sure Aladdin and everything house is all up to standards and goofs around a little bit. And meanwhile, what happened to the magician? Well, he's still in the fucking desert. It's like he should be dead by this point. He pulls out a little mini skull, which is an ambulance for some reason. Like, is Aladdin dead? No, he's not. He's left. He's used the genie and actually left. Damn it! God damn it! I'll take revenge on you, Aladdin. Uh, dude. First off, you've been in the desert for what? Over a week? 2 weeks? You didn't even notice that at this point? That anything was happening after? You're a fucking idiot. So, and keep this in mind. Yes, the magician is being played by Leonard Nimoy. So he comes up with a really stupid scheme that surprisingly actually works. He's like, come get some new lamps. Trade your old lamps for new lamps. And ironically, that's what actually works. He actually takes an old lamp and gives him a brand new lamp. And you know what's funny? I know it's Leonard Nimoy, but the way he's dressed and the way he's acting, I swear to God, I thought originally this was Vincent Price. It's kind of hilarious how he acts. Hey. And you know what? It won't be surprising this is around the same year one of the Star Trek films was being made. Actually, it's the mid 80s, so it probably was. So yeah, it must have been one of the times when the Star Wars film was being made. Actually, I don't even know which one it was. I'll look it up later. So yeah, Princess Sabrina actually says thinks it'd be a nice idea to give Aladdin a brand new lamp. So she has her servant trade the old lamp with the genie in it, of all things, because she doesn't know anything about the genie. She decides to trade the lamp for a new lamp, and so he gets the lamp and he says, "Be gone, peasants! Be gone! Be gone! Be gone!" Now they got the lamp. So, huh? Oh, it is you, Spock. Yes, Darth Vader. It is. Okay, wait a minute. We're not doing the Star Trek Star Wars thing. No, no, no. I'm the evil magician. You're the genie. Okay, good point. Yeah, just a little. I mean, come on. It is technically fan service when you're thinking about it. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, would it have been more epic to actually have Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, and Peter Cushing in one of these movies? That would have been okay. That would have been a little bit too much for the kids, but still, it would have been hilarious. It would be kind of nice. Okay, here's what I wish for. I wish to take Aladdin's palace away from this land. Regretfully, your wish is my command. So yeah, now that the evil magician actually has the lamp in his possession, he takes the lamp away. He takes away the palace, where Sabrina is, and takes it out in the middle of the desert. Aladdin comes back and he realizes the palace is gone and nobody knows where it is, and even some people start to make fun of him. Why? It's pretty fucking stupid. I don't know why. It's like one of those dumb little children's film things that they start making fun of him again. So, out of desperation, Aladdin is in the middle of the desert, and he's really depressed, and he accidentally, and of course, he rubs the ring again. When I even realized it, it's like, oh, hello, Aladdin, Abdul. My God, the ring! I totally forgot about you. Exactly. I'm very sorry about that. It's quite okay. Then again, it is quite possible that because the fact you had that gaseous windbag with you the whole time, and we're both being played by the same actor. How can I help you? I need to find my palace. Ah, yes, it was the evil magician this time around. Here, use this magic carpet, and he will take you to where your palace is. Oh, great. Can you help me out with the other genie? No, because considering the fact we're both played by the same actor, that we can't be on the same set at the same time. So, good luck then. So Aladdin takes the magic carpet and he finds his palace. And so he tells Sabrina everything. He finds Sabrina just before the evil magician, just before Jafar gets back. And of course, he basically tells Sabrina everything, what they need to do to get his lamp back because it's the source of his power. And of course, Sabrina does trick Jafar. Aladdin grabs the lamp back and says, "What are you doing with my wife?" "Oh, I have all the power here." "Where's the lamp? Where's the lamp?" "You mean this?" Oh shit! Yeah. They have a little bit of an awkward transition when they're all laughing, and the magician knows he's screwed, so he's laughing like shit, and laughs like and the genie pops up like laughing like crazy. My dear little master, it's good to see you. Sorry, master. How would you like me to deal with this fool? So, well, maybe killing him. It would actually solve many problems, but no, it's too good for him. I want you to send him someplace very vile where he will be in pain for the rest of his life. I know just the place. And thus Jafar is transported into the little television set with the salt at the Sultan's palace, and the Sultan's actually watching the television as the magician popped up, and he's being attacked by the puppets, and the Sultan's like, "What's this?" Oh my God, that is absolutely bloody hilarious. Oh, I can never get bored with this. No. So yeah, eventually, Sabrina and Aladdin embrace with each other again. And of course, he introduces her to the genie, and he explains everything that he's the one who did all the magic. And he asks the genie, and of course, he wishes the genie for him to bring the palace back to the city. It's like, and he does, but he left one little thing out. It's like, my wife and I would like to take the carpet back and have some alone time. And the genie's like, as you wish, master. And so the movie basically ends with them flying back to their home with the magic carpet. And the narrator continues on throughout the entire film and says, "As for my master, yes, the narrator was the genie the entire freaking time." And it's so weird hearing him talk, and the way he talks sounds like he's an evil genie, which is not surprising if you knew anything about Arabian lore. But anyway, the movie ends right there on the spot on a happy note. Even though technically this is considered the darkest film in the fairy tale theater library, but yeah, it's actually not a bad film particularly. But I do kind of recommend people giving these films a watch. This film is actually probably one of the better films in my opinion because of the acting by James Earl Jones being the genie, the multiple genies, and the narrator. I mean, hell, he's got a great voice for narrating. I mean, shit. I mean, goddamn, he is awesome in this movie. Ugh. And seeing him and Leonard Nimoy working off of each other, considering the fact that we know for a fact that one, Leonard Nimoy was of course Mr. Spock from Star Trek, and James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader from Star Wars. Do the math. It feels great, doesn't it? Yep. Now, when I said earlier that maybe Disney copied from this movie and also copied from The Thief and the Cobbler, let me explain. You see, The Thief and the Cobbler was a movie that was originally supposed to come out in, well, supposedly in the 80s, but it took like 30 years to make the film. And it's a long, complicated story. But as the animation was being worked on for so long, it's supposed to be a big, epic, grand film. But the thing is, Disney started popping out movies left and right and actually took inspiration from that movie and so released it under the banner as the released Aladdin, but of course using elements from this movie and of course elements from from the Thief and the Cobbler. That's how we got the Disney Aladdin film. And then of course Miramax bought the property out and thus released Thief and the Cobbler. Yeah, there's a whole lot of shit I can say about Thief and the Cobbler. There's actually several different versions. There's two English versions of it though, and then there's the original dialogue version, which is a third version that's not even been released to the public yet. Well, technically it was released to the public, but it's actually on YouTube as the Cobbler edition. It's completely nuts. Completely nuts. Oh. So when it comes on to Disney's Aladdin, I say watch the animated film. If you want to watch a good live action Aladdin, watch this one. It's a real good film. Yes, it follows more of the much of the original children's fairy tale version. But when it comes down to this cover, look at these artworks real quick. These are real nice artworks, aren't they? Like nice little doodle design, and this one more or less a painting design. But there's always been one thing that bothered me about this one. The genie. It's the wrong one. Yeah. This is what the genie looks like up here. Yeah, that's what the genie is supposed to look like in the entire movie, played by James Earl Jones. But here's the problem: the genie on the cover is played by James Earl Jones, but it's the other one. Yeah. As a kid growing up with ADHD, I knew that immediately. So yeah, if you actually wind up if you actually find these things on YouTube, sit back, give it a watch, and just be drenched in nostalgia. Well, I just did two movies this week. I feel good about it though, and two of them are, and yes, they were both family-friendly children's films. Although the first one I did was sort of a chick flick, so that doesn't really count. So what am I going to do next week exactly? What's the film I'm going to do next week? You know what? I think it's about time I boldly go where no man has gone before. I, of course, speak Star Trek. Tune in next time, and Ferox Frank here will review Star Trek The Motion Picture. And I'm going to have a shitload of coffee on standby because that movie is long as fuck. Anyway, till then, y'all take care.